Ja sitten jatketaan opastusten parissa. Mä odotan tohon sunnuntaihin, niin mä sen enempää huutelen. Jos on huudellakseni. Aloitan alhaalta tässä tapauksessa. Mikä mun tilanne on täällä? Sä oot jo Vyven Rideri. Mitä mä treenaan sul? Itse asiassa mä teen näin päin. Custom Focus, Faith ja Riding. Mä tarvii sulle pikkasen parempaa tonne noin Faithin puolelle. Joo. 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 Ei se nyt oikeastaan parempaakaan. Paitsi voit sä ehkä saada tuolta avon, että mä teen näin. Sä voit olla Warmasterin puhtaasti, joten joo. Gilbertti. Joo. Tietenkin. Joo. Sä oot ehkä tärkeä mulla tiedoissa. Ei, näin. 50, eli riding. Puhtaasti. Joo. Joo. Joo, ota feitti, why not? Joo, nää nyt on ihan fine. Group tasks. Staple day. No, siinä mielessä mä haluaisin lähettää kans taas 2 sellaista, jolla ei mitään iloja hyötyy, mut... Mä lähetän isätyttäret. Eka isätyttäret tonne ratsastamaan. Ja sit sen jälkeen viimeisellä mä laitan isätyttäret lentämään. Instruct. Dima, sä hyödyt tosta. Mä annan sulle nyt pisteitä tätä kautta. Miks mulla on sulle? Kun sä voit saada jotain hyötyä tästä ridingista. Miksei?
This will be useful. This will be useful. This will be useful.
Hyvä. No ei tarvii vielä kokonaan tuota mennä pois. Annette!
I learned a lot. Yes, that's it. I'll get the next one too. Yes, that's it. Is this what success feels like?
You tell me that later. Sitten... Happy. Mä tarviin sulle...
Thanks for taking the time.
You're welcome, mutta olihan toi nyt aika... Haluuks mä Anna? Haluun.
Sorry, I was thinking about gold. Again.
Critique.
Net loss. But I'll turn it around.
Hyvä, mä ainakin pääsin taas bädin näyttää ja Annalla. Mut hyvä, että sä niin, kapitalistinen. Okei, mä en puutele yhtään mitään. Mitä pitäis. Kahden pääs.
That wasn't difficult. Your praise is appreciated. You're a good professor.
Okei, mitä mulla on vielä täällä odottamassa? Setukkaa. Periaatteessa Felix mä haluan, että sä saat feittiä pikkasen paremmaksi.
Quite intriguing. Thank you. This could be useful. Maybe. It was nothing. Of course I got it. No need to butter me up. It was nothing.
Restore.
I'm just not there yet.
You're not, mutta toi on itse asiassa hyvä kans tietää, että sä sait nyt ainakin yhden matchikin lisää. Ja sit sinä, koska mä haluan, että säkin pääsit joskus White Magiciksi.
I managed to get it. Oh, I'll get the next one too. Maybe I've grown. I managed to get it.
Hyvä. Näillä on hyvä mennä. Ja Mercedesillä olisi ollut seuraava viikon synttärit, mutta mä siitäkin skip. Oma muka, kun mä muistan näitä asioita väärin.
Hey, pal.
Here's the perfect combo for a scrappy guy like me. Axe, skill and rolling. Yeah? Swinging my axe left and right, and then punching guys out if I lose my weapon. I was born to be a war master. Focus on the axe instead of focusing axe and rolling. Ihan sama metso. Update your goals, koska tykkäät enemmän sun omasta ideasta kuin mun ideasta. Go ahead, go ahead. Ei ollutkaan Mercedes tässä. Haha, eli mulla on vielä yksi.
Annette, if something happens, you must tell me right away.
I'm a grown-up now. You're the one who's old and needs to take it easy.
I will keep that in mind.
Professor, look! I think I've done pretty well.
Yes, I think she has earned the right to be proud.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Mä tykkään kuinka toikin kans, koska ne harvoilla niinku alkaa toi dynamiikka. Mulla on varmaan muutamia muitakin, joilla toi dynamiikka nousee noinkin vahvasti, mutta tästä tapauksessa mä dikkaan, että... Mä dikkaan mitä tää kehittyy,
There is always more to learn.
No, ainakin jotain tuli, mutta tärkeimpi on nyt... No ratsusta mä en enää hyödy mitään, jos mä mietin seminaari, itse asiassa hyödyn Marianne. Pitääkö mun keskittyä ratsuihin taas? Onks Happy taas se, joka opettaa?
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Hyvä, ja paljon mulla on sitten jäljellä noita... Inventory items, mä voin laittaa noita... Zero Shieldin. Sacred Shield linked to Crest of Zeros. Halves monster damage, restores HP each turn. Se on aika... hyvä itse asiassa. Aika hyvä itse asiassa. Mutta joka tapauksessa ei ehkä välttämättä... Katsotaan, koska... Olisi ollut kiva saada se Zerosin miekkasi vai, mutta... Sitä mä olisin huudella. Mutta nähtävästi sitten tässä kävi niin, että... Zerosin... If initiates combat, grants plus 20 avo during the combat. Tuohan niinku täydellinen väistöliike kaikkeen suuntaan. Sopii sulle ihan mahdollisesti täydellisesti. Juu. Ja mä voin reclassaa sut suoraan, koska mä... Flayn. Voit jatkaa Bishopilla sitten tästä.
I am eager to give this a go.
Let's hope that plays well. Hyvä, muuthan nyt ei oo. Sä masteroit.
I will prove myself.
Prove yourself. Sä masteroit kans, säkin oot masteroinut. Sä oot jo reclassattu. No menee vielä hetken aikaa, että sä saat tuon valmiiksi. Mut joo, olisi ollut kiva sillä lailla, mut niinku mitä mä nyt ymmärsin sitten tän loorin perusteella, että toi... Koska Edukalla oli Siirrosin miakka. Sen on pakko olla jotenkin viittaavaa siihen, että Edukka sen voitti. Mielenkiintoista. No, katsotaan mitä tässä tapahtuu. Tai siis niinku, että siinä kun Edukka sen kaappas, voitti sodan luvussa 12. Se sai sen Realta ennen kuin Rea sitten mitä ikinä tapahtukaan siinä. Ja Kilpi sitten vastaavasti oli kiilotettu, mutta en mä kiinnittää myöhemmin huomioon, koska jos Realla on hallussa Siirrosin Kilpi siinä luvussa 12, sitten on semmoista pieni paradoksi. Jos se ei, niin se on nice touch. Jos sekin riippuu itse asiassa siitä, että mikä support-leveli on ennen sitä taistelua. No, katsotaan sitten mitä näistä hauskoista touches, mutta Dima, ota nyt kiinni. Kaikki nämä tukikeskustelut ja nyt me lähdetään seminaariin nauttiin.
Your Highness, you still have scars on your back. It does you no good to languish in pain. I will procure some medicine.
No, it is fine. Well, they are still deep. These are from 9 years ago. They do not hurt any longer. Besides, it would be a shame if the scars I got from protecting you were to fade. I bear these scars proudly. It makes me think that it was worthwhile that someone like me survived.
To hear you say such things.
Dedeu, you say that I saved you. But do you know that you also saved me that day? If I had been unable to save anyone, I would have been the sole survivor. I would have had no reason to keep living. But I saved someone. Saved you. That and that alone has always been my crutch.
When I stood before those soldiers and their swords that day, I was prepared to die. But then, you suddenly appeared, and you shielded me. I knew then that a savior's hand could reach into even the deepest darkness. I still have not been able to repay that debt.
Have you not heard a word I've said? You have saved me in countless ways. 5 years ago, I did nothing but await my execution within my jail cell. Was it not you that saved me?
That was nothing more than my duty as your vassal.
Listen, Dedeu, perhaps you consider me to be someone special, but I think the same of you. You are irreplaceable, cherished. So stop saying that we cannot be friends. Stop saying such awful things.
Please, do not look at me that way. You promised me you would build a kingdom that is proud to boast of Duscar blood. In this kingdom, where there is no distinction between the people of Duscar and the people of Fodlan, will I finally, without reservation, be able to call you my friend? Will I, Dimitri?
Dedeu. Yes, you will call me your friend again and again, no matter how many hardships I must endure.
I will do all I can to bring about that world as well. To be your friend is what I have always wanted.
Is that so? I am glad to hear it.
But until that time, we must allow no harm to befall you. So please call upon me when you walk alone at night. And even when you go out in the day, please tell me where you are going and whom you are meeting.
In the end, I suppose there is no fixing your overprotectiveness, is there? I suppose I can live with that.
Oikeastaan toi niinku, kun tuossa palasit menee jo kohilleen sen suhteen, mitä odottaakin Dimalta ja Dedeulta. Mä toivon, että teillä tulee onnellinen loppu tämän sodan jälkeen. Tai Dedeu ylipäätänsä sulla tulee jo. No, oikeastaan mä toivon, että teillä menee loppu aika hyvin. Tää on itse asiassa aika nätti. Miten ajatuksen suhteen, koska kuitenkin tää Diman herääminen tapahtuu Felixin isän kuoleman jälkeen. Miten tää vaikuttaa suhun?
I have a question for you. Answer quickly before my hand slips and I cut you in half.
Always so ominous. Well, what is it, Felix?
Sometimes you have an animal's face, contorted with anger and bloodlust. At other times, a man's with a friendly smile. Which is your true face?
Do not waste your breath on questions with such obvious answers. They are both the real me. My father, my friends, Glenn. They all meant a great deal to me. And they were all brutally slaughtered. I alone survived. If I do not shoulder the anguish and regret they must have felt, who will?
So that's how you justify your atrocities.
What do you mean?
I will fulfill my duty to the late king. My old man used to say that over and over like a mantra. How nauseating. No one seems to understand. The dead won't acknowledge your loyalty. They don't care. What a load of bunk it is, pretending to serve a corpse. You're serving your own ego.
You are wrong.
No, I'm not. The dead are dead. The living are living. You have to respect that boundary. If you keep stringing gravestones around your neck, you'll snap.
Even still, I cannot forget them, nor can I let them go.
Then keep those thoughts to yourself. If you're too weak to do that, abandon your throne. Become a gravekeeper.
Felix.
I'm not immune to emotion, you know. Far from it. I haven't gone a day without questioning why my father and brother had to die, while I survived. I'll bear this pain until the day I die, but I refuse to wallow in it. I have more important things to do than blubber for my whole life.
You know, Felix, you really are growing more and more like your brother. Always so sarcastic and constantly looking for a fight. But deep inside, more than anyone, you...
What are you getting at?
Oh, it's nothing. But allow me to thank you. Your perspective has opened my eyes.
Not my intention. I couldn't stand the pathetic look on your face, that's all.
I see. If you say so, then we will leave it at that.
Okei, toi menee kans ihan... Se miten mä näin Felixin ylipäätänsä, toi menee just sen tyylisesti. Ja Dima huomasi sen saman. Ja Felix ihan oikein vastaa sieltä tavalla, että sitä ei kiinnosta sen tyyppiset kommentit kuulla. I'm happy for it, I'm happy for it, I'm happy for it. Mitäs sitten Mercedes ja Dima?
You've been spending a lot of time at the training ground, Mercedes. As far as swordsmanship goes, you're like a whole new person.
Thank you. I have such a great time when you teach me that improving comes naturally.
It's all because of your own hard work. Compared to you,
You shouldn't be so disappointed in yourself. You're improving too. You just need to keep at it.
Well, I can hold a needle and thread without breaking anything now. That's something.
That's a big step. When we started, you couldn't even hold a pair of scissors without twisting them apart.
True. I'm sorry for being such a burden.
You're no bother at all. I like sewing with you. It reminds me of when I was young and my mother taught me how to sew. My mother would sit with my brother and me, and we'd all sew together. Ah, I really miss it. even though I was barely better than you when I started. Did your mother like to sew, Dimitri?
My birth mother? From my father's accounts, she wasn't great at it either.
Oh, of course. I forgot that the Queen of Fargus passed away long ago.
Yes. I don't really remember what she was like. But I remember my stepmother, always sitting by the window sewing away.
I'm sure she would have been happy to teach you if you had asked.
She always looked so lonely when she was sewing. So unreachable. She was kind to me, yes, but when she was like that, it was hard to talk to her. I'm not certain she would have wished to teach me.
I'm so sorry, Dimitri. I didn't mean to bring up such difficult memories.
Don't worry about it. If I don't talk about those things sometimes, I'll risk forgetting them altogether. And that would truly be a shame.
I see.
But now I'm just going on and on about myself. Why don't you tell me more about you?
More about me? Oh, goodness. I don't even know what to say.
It's hard to think of something on the spot, isn't it? You could speak of your family, I suppose.
You want to know more about my family? On that topic, I'm happy to oblige. In fact, I'm so glad you asked. It's important to think about your past and share it every now and then. This might take a while, but would you be willing to stay and listen?
Of course. I will listen for as long as you wish.
No se on kans lämminhenkinen. Mutta se oli vasta B+. Ja se jatkuu vielä. Teillä on vielä tiedossa A, mitä vielä sä voit oppiikaan Mercedesin. Itse asiassa Mercedesin tausta on semmonen, mikä on eniten hämmentävä. Mercedes. Jos mä sanon Mercedes, mulla tulee Mersu mieleen, joten sen takia mä yritän sanoa Mercedes, niin mä yritän edes kunnioittaa pikkasen sitä alkuperäistä nimeä, vaikka sitten lausutaan Mercedes tässä tapauksessa. Anetten kanssa A, ja sitten tulee A+ vielä. Dima, sä oot kovempi ladies man kuin Sylvain.
Your Highness, I have one more favor to ask.
Is this about Gustav again? I have plenty more stories about him, but perhaps it is time for you to speak with him yourself.
Oh, it's not about Father this time. This time I wanted to ask about you.
About me?
I mean, I heard all about Father last time, but I didn't ask about you.
Ah, well, I'm afraid there is not much of interest for me to tell you.
Oh, it doesn't have to be funny or interesting. That's not why I'm asking. It's just that I thought I already knew you, but I'm not sure I really do. That day when we were reunited at the monastery, I didn't know what to say to you. So I wanted to prepare some of your favorite food. I thought maybe if you ate something that you liked, you'd cheer up a little. But when I got to the kitchen, I realized I didn't even know what you like to eat.
I see. Well, it's a little hard to say what my favorite is. I just don't really have any strong feelings about food. That said, you're pretty keen on sweet things, right, Annette?
Yes, that's right. I'm at my happiest when I'm digging into a sweet treat. Oh, did you know there's a famous sweets shop in the capital?
Yes. It often had long lines outside, didn't it? The castle guards often spoke of it.
The sweets were so good. They cost a fortune, but I loved them. When Father was still around, we all lived as a family in the capital. Since then, I've had them only a few times. How I'd love to taste them again.
Say, Annette, when this war is over, where will you go? I heard that you were close to Baron Dominic back in the academy days.
That's right. But that's not where I think I'd like to go when all of this is over. I reconnected with Father, so I'd like to live with my family again, in the capital. Also, if I'm in the capital, I'll be able to see you from time to time, right?
Ah, that settles it then. We'll have to get your father working twice as hard.
Father's at a ripe old age now. I'd appreciate it if you didn't work him too hard.
Oh, of course. I will keep that in mind.
Opetetaan taas lisää ja lisää syventävää tarinaa sitten myös molemmista suunnista, mutta joo, ei mä samaan aikaan kun viestit hyppelee tossa ja pitää suunnitella myös yhtä lailla huomisen lennon jälkeisiä tapahtumia, joten nekin kans vähän vaikuttaa mun. Mä yritän käyttää tässä sen takia pikkasen hyödyksi, että mä en välttämättä kuuntele kaikki supportteja. Mä yritän sivukorvaa, yritän keskittyä siihen ja nyt on Marianne Dima kans Aalla, joten pum, tää tarina on valmis, eli Marianne ei tarvii välttämättä koskea, jos ei ihan mitään, jos ei ole todella siistiä tiedossa. Ingrid. Koska mä oon unohtanut monien teidän, mitä teillä on ollut. No, Ingrid. Kerro mulle Diman kanssa, mitä teillä on tapahtunut.
Your Highness, I've come to apologize. I mismanaged my feelings and got carried away. I've been thinking about what might have made you say the things you did. I was so caught up in the moment and in my own feelings that I didn't think of what yours might be.
No, I should be the one to apologize. I did not intend to say such things. I lashed out like a child. You were right to rebuke me. I am disgusted by my own inability to express myself. Will you allow me to explain?
Of course.
At the tragedy of Dusker, I saw countless corpses. Of course, I saw his, too. Glenn's. Ingrid, I doubt you would have been able to see him. They were unable to bring his body back, after all. He must have died an agonizing death, full of pain and regret. That is what I saw in his face. In that wasteland, there were no beautiful, proud deaths that could have been written about in heroic tales. Not one. I do not want you to die a death like that. Not even for the sake of loyalty or duty.
A king must at times order his soldiers and knights to fight and die on his behalf. Their lives must be used for the greater good. This is something any good king understands innately. Any king who doesn't allow people to die on his behalf is too soft to rule well.
You leave me little room for argument. Have I disappointed you?
No. I chose to serve you because of how you are. As your knight, I will stand by your side and uphold your soft-hearted ideals.
What has changed, Ingrid? You were so obstinate the other day.
I've realized that I haven't been facing a very important truth. Because of you, I can finally move on. Thank you.
Tässä itse asiassa rakennetaan hyvin tietä kanssa, että Dimitristä tulee ehkä viisaampi, avoimempi kuningas, mitä se olisi ehkä ollut aiemmin. Ottaen huomioon, että no, ilman sotaa, jos sitten olisi tullut kuningas, niin olisi voinut ehkä pikkasen toinen olla. Sitten Marianne. No, sä saat Dimitrin kanssa Aalle ja tää sitten kruunautuu täysin. Ainoa sun tupakaveri Rafael, se pitää varmaan hoitaa. Koska mä oon suorittanut sen alkuperäisessä seivissä mun omalla profiililla. Mä näytän sen ihan lopussa. Sitten kun sota on ohi, sitten kun on kaikki ohi, siellä on sitten Diman ja what it could have been. Koska se on oikeastaan kaikista näistä Diman henkilöistä, joiden Dimalla pystyy olla support, niin Rafael on aina, joka jäi. Enkä mä en pysty sitä näyttämään mitenkään. Se oli vaan B:lle, että sinne jääty kauheasti paitsi. Marianne vastaavasti. Se saa nyt conclusion. Hoida tää tupien välinen tilanne kuntoon.
Spared again.
So it would seem. I told you that you were extraordinarily lucky.
Sometimes I think that must be true. But why me? Is this the goddess's way of telling me to make something of myself? There are so many others who are much more deserving of life.
I often think the same of myself, especially after battles where many lives were lost. But I must go on living. I cannot give in to death so readily. It is my duty to atone for my sins and to pay for the lives I've taken. I suppose that must be why the goddess allows me to live on.
Is there a reason she allows me to live?
Only you can know that. But I believe there is a reason. Marianne, life is difficult.
It is a burden. It feels terrible to continue standing when so many others had to fall.
If that is so, then carry on as you are. There is no need for you to force yourself to smile as your soul bleeds. But please, whatever you do, do not give up on yourself or your precious life.
What do you mean?
If you were to die, I would be devastated.
You never have been easy to read.
Is that so?
Everyone says that I need to cheer up. But you may be the first person to tell me not to. Your life must also be difficult for you to understand my position.
So it is. I often feel I am not strong enough to live it.
I think our difficulties have brought us closer together.
Do you?
Absolutely. Please, Dimitri, promise you'll live through this war and long after. I don't know what I'd do with myself if we lost you.
As long as you are carrying on, I have yet another reason to carry on myself. I promise to the goddess of Fodlan that I will never give you cause to despair.
Mä osittain halusin, että te jatkatte kuningasparina. Katsotaan miten mä menen sitten, kun sota on ohi. Koska tuossa loppupeleistä olette kaksi sellaista hahmoa, jolla on just toi niinku omien syntien taakka. Mä oon vielä 2 vailla haluaisin suorittaa Mariannen paralogia. Katsotaan pääsikö niin pitkälle ja sitten pystyn sen suorittamaan, mutta mä mulla on pari viikkoa siinä jäljellä. Flaynin kanssa, ja sulla on vielä Flaynin kanssa pitkä matka, vähän niinku Ingridin kanssa.
Why are you out and about so late, Dimitri?
Hello, Flayn. I could ask you the same thing.
Me? I was feeling restless and came here to think.
I see. I'm here for the same reason.
How funny. But are you feeling well? You look fairly pale.
It's nothing. I just have a bit of a headache.
Oh my. Headaches are quite troublesome, are they not? I am sure it will subside soon. Actually, I am quite talented when it comes to healing magic. If you will allow me, I will have you feeling better in no time.
That's kind of you, but I'm fine.
But why not? Have I offended you somehow?
This headache is something I've dealt with for a while now. Ever since my family and friends were murdered before my eyes. I must never forget that day. I must never allow their deaths to be forgotten. I feel this headache is a reminder of sorts. Of those I failed to protect. And of their murderers who still roam free.
I see. That would explain your somber demeanor. Still, I do not agree with all you are saying. I feel that if I were your father or any of your dear friends whom you lost, I would want you to let go of me eventually. I would never want someone whom I care deeply for to be pained by the loss of me for eternity. And I doubt they would want that either.
Perhaps. Unfortunately, they have left this world, so I can no longer ask their preference.
We cannot ask them directly, but we can imagine how they might have felt. You know who they were as people. As for me, if I am ever to be but a memory in your future, I want you to remember me in a way that brings you joy. I would want you to smile when you recalled me, to feel warmed by the notion that I cherished your company. I cannot imagine I am the only one who feels this way. Surely, anyone who loved another would wish only for their peace and happiness. I must apologize. I was out of line, clearly. I must get some rest now. Please do not stay up too late yourself.
Good night, Flayn. And thank you.
Flayn jatkaa sen, koska tuossa oli paljon samantyyppistä mitä Felixinkin kans oli, eli semmoista niinku semmoista Flayn, kyllä mä vielä murran sun taian, koska sä oot yksi iceberg character tässä oikeesti. Meillä on vihdoin viimeiseen. Nice, eikä vihdoin viimein teki päästä keskustelemaan kunnolla.
Gustav, it has been 8 years since I last called you by that name.
Your Highness, I must deeply apologize for leaving the kingdom without permission.
There is no need to explain, old friend. I can guess at your reasons. The tragedy of Duscur. You felt responsible for that incident and sought respite in the goddess, abandoning your name, rank, and homeland in repentance. Am I right?
I have no excuses to offer. It was all I could think to do.
I always knew you for a pious man, and I figured that if you were to leave, this is where you would end up. You have changed much. Your face does not have the same resolve it once did.
If I may, Your Highness, you have changed as well.
I can't disagree.
It was my duty to protect His Majesty, your father. Naturally, that also included Lady Patricia and yourself as well.
My father and mother are gone. No amount of regret will bring them back.
My dreams are haunted by the thought that had I arrived at Duscur more swiftly...
You saved my life at Duscur. I have only gratitude for you, no blame to speak of. I wish for you to remain in the kingdom, Gustav, even after this conflict is over. I need your strength to help rebuild the ravaged land that Fargus has become.
Please, I beg your forgiveness, but there is no place left for me in that land.
I see. Though much has changed, your stubbornness remains. I have no desire to trouble you. If you do not wish to return, that is your choice to make. But I do advise you to at least visit the place of your birth, if only for your family's sake.
Yes, Your Highness. Thank you. I appreciate your concern.
Just vasta tajusin, että kun teillä on vasta siellä, että tuossa on muutama luku jäljellä. Mutta on varmaan teostaa teitä paljon enemmän, mitä pitäisi. No. Kyllä mä siinä onnistun. Tää on vasta B. Tää ottaa hyvä. No. Mitä sitten toisen ritarin kanssa?
We should have been more careful. Those monsters really got the better of us.
I must apologize, Alois. If only I had paid closer attention.
No, it's all right. We've got more important things to do than dwell on our mistakes.
It hurts. I don't want to die yet.
Ugh. How did it come to this?
Indeed. With morale this low, we may yet have trouble making it back to the monastery.
We weren't expecting that attack, after all. It gave us a nasty shock. So we can't just leave. The knights could use some inspiration. Listen up, everyone. We're going to carve ourselves a safe path back home to Garrigmach Monastery. But first, I want you all to hear me out.
Alois, what exactly are you...
A long time ago, Captain Gerald and I defended a small village from a band of thieves. After we defeated those hoodlums, the captain observed how ugly they were. Such hideousness ought to be illegal, he said. If it were up to me, I would have banned it. Then he walked up to the leader of the village and handed over a big bag of coins. A gift from the thieves, he said. They were dying to give it to you.
Sir, I'm not sure this is the time for...
Oh, Alois, how do you come up with those jokes? That last one was positively hilarious.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just a natural.
This is... I don't even know what to think right now.
I guess we should just join in.
Okei, se tää Dima tykkää niistä Aloisin puneista puujalkavitseistä. Ja siellä on vielä ainakin yksi puujalkavitsi odottamassa, mutta miksi tulee B+ eikä A? Mikäköhän tuossa on logiikkana, että se vaihtuu B+ eikä A:ksi? Mielenkiintoista. No, katsotaan miten käy Cathrinen kanssa sitten ja...
Another day, another training session, I see. You're quite dedicated. And practicing with the sword today. You weren't any good with it when you were little, as I recall.
And who told you that?
Lord Rodrigue mentioned it to me. He said you used to swing your sword so hard that you'd break it.
That was ages ago. I've had plenty of time to improve since then. Now I count swordplay as one of my specialties. Care to see for yourself?
Well, I can't just take your word for it, can I? Let's see what you've got. Well, I'm impressed. You're better than I expected.
I could say the same of you. I suppose we students still have much to learn.
No need for false modesty. We fought as equals just now. You're strong, and your form is excellent. You're clearly an experienced fighter. But you're greedy. You can't be so impatient to win. It'll come at a grave cost.
Greedy? I see. I'll take that note to heart. You have my thanks for the instruction.
Ah, it returns. The formality, the stiffness. Anyway, after we're through here, I might head into town for some food. Care to join me?
I appreciate the invitation, but I have certain duties I must attend to this evening.
Of course you do. Never mind about my plans then.
I thought you'd say that. You have the same sense of responsibility as I do.
You think so? I didn't want to push you to join me. We can just do it another day. I'll confess, I'm taking a shine to you. I'd like to talk to you more.
I would like that as well. Ever since I saw you wielding a sword all those years ago, I've been following in your footsteps. To be able to stand with you and cross swords is quite a...
Hey, slow down. Where did all this come from? You're embarrassing me. That's enough chatter for now anyway. Let's get back to sparring, this time with lances. I won't hold back. Show me what you can do.
Right. Prepare yourself.
Ja sentään sulla on jonkinlainen treenaus kaveri kanssa olemassa. Ja se oli hyvä putki saada Dima saada kaikki nää Dima supportin kanssa kiinni. Ja sitten tänne jää muutama ja muutama tulee vielä lisää todennäköisesti. Alright. Päästään sitten kattoo seminaaria vihdoin viimein. Okei. Koska sä oot happy ainoa, joka on ratsu. Sä oot happy ainoa, joka on ratsu. Ja Anne ei saa, Annette ei saa tosta mitään. Happy oot sä mun ainoa, joka pystyy. Onko siitä mitään hyötyä? Roster, no katsotaan tätä kautta, koska Annette. No sulla on B-llä katsotaan B. Ja Marianne, sun tilanne on. Oikein sä tarvit sen B:lle kuitenkin, joten sä voit saada sen B:lle tos viikon aikana. Sitten voin pelata tuolla varmaan päälle. Mulla on mikrofoni alhaalla eikä ylhäällä. Ups. Eikö toi Yske ei... Mä en saanutkaan sitä suojattua niin kuin mä halusin. No jos mietin niin mitä muuta täällä on. Mercedes opettaisi, siitä tulisi paljon noita pisteitä, mut ei kyllä mä ehkä haluu kuitenkin. Ei. Marianne ei kuitenkaan tärkeä tuossa seuraavassa battleissa, joten se on fine. Annette olisi tärkeämpi, kun Annette ei tosta pysty hyötyä mitään, niin se on potato. Mitä mulla on sitten vielä? Flayn ja Authority. Dima ainoastaan. Koska mä en oo antanut tarpeeksi monelle... Setukka opettais kans, mut... No tässä jos tässä olisi Flayn, se olisi ollut täydellinen. Eikö olisi ollut täydellinen? Jos mä vedän seminaarin. Tiedätkö Dima? Sulla on ollut tukiviikot. Tää on Dimaviikko. Welcome back to the show us how great can we be. So, Dima, sun eihän tosta nyt mulle kauheasti mitään hyötyä, mutta hei, go and enjoy that. Begin a seminar on the fight style utilizing land skills and group tactics which has developed by the Kingdom Knights. Gilberti voi katsoa kuinka hyvin sä oot oppinut sieltä. Flayni voi ihannoida miten hyvin. Mä voin ehkä ottaa siitä kans jotain. Ja ennen kaikkea House Nouvelle tarvii, jotta sit on hyötyä Empirea vastaan, kesäkuntaa vastaan, niin se pitää tietää kans kuinka kuningaskunnassa hoidetaan. Hyvä. Hyvä, Dima, hoida se seminaari. Se oli vasta ensimmäinen taso, mutta ei se mitään. Congratulations. Siinä tulee muutama piste. Joo, mä katsoin väärää. Blinkin 194. No joo. Ja sit lähdetään